Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from the Officer Tatum, and it's titled CNN Panics as Kamala Collapses in the Polls. You guys, I'm super excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what the Officer Tatum has for us in this video.
3 states, right? Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. An average on October 11th. What do you see? Well, if you look 8 years ago, Hillary Clinton was way out in front in an average of these 3. She was up by 8. You go 4 years ago, Joe Biden was up by an average of 7 points across these 3 Great Lake battleground states. You come today, it's just a 1-point advantage for Kamala Harris.
But what's also creeping in now is that anxiety. The reason for that is because these polls are not really moving. Despite multiple battleground blitzes, despite the opportunities she has had across media outlets, there is still not a lot of movement from voters who are moving more towards her versus former President Donald Trump. In fact, I had one source describe it to me this way, quote, "People are nervous. They know the polls are tight, and a lot of us are having these flashbacks to 2016 too. We know when it can go the wrong way, and it can still feel fresh."
Oh, they're in a full panic. I told y'all. I said it's gonna go as soon as she come out. She'll be up here, Trump be down here, and then it's gonna begin to switch.
Yeah,
because they propagated and fabricated all of this momentum that wasn't true. And as soon as she started talking, people are gonna see how much fuller she is.
exactly.
And they're not gonna want to vote for her. Like, subscribe to the channel. Links are in the description section. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. They panicking. Let me just be honest real quick. I don't know what to think about this because I don't trust the election as much.
That's
If I would be excited, I would be jumping for joy and saying, "I told you so," and this is what I expect it to look like, or even worse than this for Kamala Harris. If I trust that the system was right and that these people weren't propaganda machines and they got some stuff that they preparing so they can make a mockery out of us. But if we take all that away and everything is what it should be, they are in trouble.
Yeah.
I knew they would be in trouble. I kind of felt she had a little bit of momentum, but she's getting exposed every time she go on the show. They don't know how to handle a crisis. So now that there's a crisis, she want to politicize it. Everybody else is against her. It's hard for America to elect a woman to be the president. I'm just telling you, most men and women don't see women as leaders. I'm just saying, in the sense of this, leading the military, leading the country, leading the police department, leading the SWAT team. I mean, when you talk about intense levels of leadership, focus, and a type of masculine decorum, most people don't see women like that. Even women don't see women like that. So if you're a woman that think you're going to take over the country and be the commander in chief, you got to be a bad mama jamma. You got to be a solid chick, man. You got to be cut from a different cloth. You can't be giggling and you can't be feminine and being looking cute and all this. You can't do that, man, because ain't nobody taking you serious. Yeah, you think she gonna go negotiate with Middle Easterns? Man, women can't even drive in some of these things. They be whooping women, stoning them. They got to cover up from here to here. You think they're going to sit in the room with Kamala Harris and be like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Allah Akbar." You know. You think they're going to sit in the room with Kamala Harris and take her seriously? Like, the culture of some of these countries don't even take women serious to start with. But she also don't demand respect anywhere. Her voice alone is so wiry and bubbly and that, like, she don't even come across as being like authoritative. You know, like a Nikki Haley, even though I couldn't stand Nikki Haley was more poised of an authoritative woman than Kamala Harris is by far. Also, Tulsi Gabbard served in the military. You know, when you see women that be doing stuff like that, you begin to think, yeah, she can do this. She done proved herself she can stand on the stage. If you can put a uniform on, put your life on the line, I'm confident you have enough courage and fortitude to go and challenge other people. When you ain't done nothing but be a politician your whole life and you giggling your way through stuff on your knees, I don't think nobody believe you. Roll the clip.
What is with all of this bedwetting among Democrats? Maybe it's an eternal problem, but...
Wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? I totally agree with the Officer Tatum on this. Kamala Harris is too excited. As for me, I'll say Kamala Harris looks like a little girl in a candy shop that is overly excited. I don't think she is in the best position to be the president of America. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you agree with the Officer Tatum or you totally disagree with him? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below and let's continue watching, you guys.
Let's take a look here. These are, of course, the Great Lake battleground states, the states we've been focusing in on. If Kamala Harris wins these three, she most likely gets to 270 electoral votes. Take a look 3 weeks ago. Harris was ahead by 2 in Pennsylvania, 2 in Wisconsin, 3 in Michigan. Look at where we are today. The race is even tighter.
Let me say this before we go on. You can never trust this anyway. Please listen to me. You're talking a 1 point difference. The margin of error is like 3 points. We don't know what this is. I have never taken a poll seriously, and I don't think I've ever taken a poll. And obviously I don't live in these swing states, but I've never been on a poll. There's so many people that haven't been polled. There's so many people that aren't likely voters because they never voted before. There's certain people that, you know what I'm saying, that's in the middle, that they're polling Democrats. They're not polling independents. Are they double polling certain people in certain areas? So we don't know how accurate this ever will be. But for them to be throwing this out there, I'm suspicious.
Even tighter than it was. Today, it's a 1 point advantage in Pennsylvania, 1 in Wisconsin, 1 in Michigan. Look, that's limited movement, but in a year in which this race has been so static, if we're talking 1 point movement, 1 point movement, 2 point movements, and we see movements in all three, this is the type of thing that, at least in the public polling, makes Democrats worried. And I think that the public polling in this case is reflected in some of that internal polling, some of that reporting that suggests that these Great Lake battleground states have certainly tightened a lot, where at this point they are way too close to call.
It is what you call a trend.
It is
when
a trend.
You see something like this over several states.
For them to be giddy like this, it makes me feel like that this is theater, right? They want you to think the poll numbers are moving and it's getting, so you can watch them. But they just inflating this stuff, or they just calculating certain stuff and rounding it up or down to make you think that there's movement, because if they wouldn't have nothing to report on if there's no movement. And they wouldn't have a job if Donald Trump was up by 6-7 points. They would be pulling the bed and quitting their job. CNN would go out of business. So they got to make it sound palatable.
When you compare this to 4 years ago, what does it look like?
Yeah, so let's take a look, and we're going to look at an average across these 3 states, right? Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, an average on October 11th. What do you see? Well, if you look 8 years ago, Hillary Clinton was way out in
lost.
Front in an average of these 3. She was up by 8. You go 4 years ago, Joe Biden was
and he lost,
up by an average of 7 points across these 3 Great Lake battleground states. You come today, it's just a 1 point advantage for Kamala Harris across these 3 Great Lake battleground states. So Kamala Harris, at least in the polling, is doing considerably worse than Biden or Clinton. And of course, Clinton lost in all 3 of these states, and Joe Biden barely won in all 3 of these states. So when you see Harris up by just a point across these 3, I think that this is really the type of thing that gets Democrats really to worry, John, because the simple fact is Kamala Harris.
They just exposed something. She was up by 8, lost all. He was up by 7 and won all 3. Put this in your mind. That's why people go, 2020 was nothing. If this have any indication of any victory, if she's up by 8 points and lost all 3 of these, he was up by 7 and won all 3. We know what happened in these states. The trend should be, if she lost, he should have lost. At least not win all three.
Yeah.
Because they need all three to win the election. Now look at her numbers. She definitely is going to lose all three.
Is doing considerably worse than either Biden or Clinton was.
Yeah, at this number, what you start hoping for is somehow that the polls
Are actually right this time?
are right this time and
Yeah.
doing a better job, and that's a little bit of a thin reed to base your hope on. There may be some other reasons in general why Democrats are more worried.
Yeah. So I think it just comes down to the fact that Democrats are more worried about a Donald Trump presidency than Trump supporters are about a Kamala Harris presidency. So angry if the opposing candidate wins. 52% of Harris voters say they'd be angry if Donald Trump won versus just 42% of Trump voters who say they'd be angry if Kamala Harris was. So I think this is more of a bigger, larger picture. It's not just that the polls are tightening. I think it's just that Democrats, John, are more worried in general about a Donald Trump presidency than the reverse in this particular situation.
Harriet, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, fellas, for just lying. But they probably lying. Remember they were double polling Democrats, and I knew listening to Alex Jones that Donald Trump was going to win 2016. I had faith that he was going to win. I pretty much was like, yeah, he's going to win, because Alex Jones was saying that they were double polling Democrats. They were trying to make her poll numbers look a lot better than they were, so people didn't just give up. And I think they could be doing that in this situation. I mean, they would literally be acting, if they actually did media like they're supposed to, they would be acting against Kamala Harris. Because if she ever go down so far that Democrats think it's over, they already feel the momentum from Trump and they think it's already over, they're not going to show up to the polls. And they don't want that. Because if a Republican get in office, there's going to be so much stuff that come out about these people that it's going to be it's not going to be funny. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Comment. Let me know what you think about it.
You guys, what are your thoughts on this video and with Kamala Harris' position on the poll? Do you think her numbers are going to increase and she might eventually win the 3 swing states? What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comment section down below. I really think she is going down from here and Trump is definitely going to win these 3 swing states. But let me know what you think in the comment section and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.